Hello, world of people outside of isolation. And that includes me today, because today I have been unisolated. I am allowed into the world of other humans, which is fantastic, which is why I'm dressed in normal clothing and I am basically existing a fairly normal life. When I go outside the room, I do have to wear a mask, um, but my stats were really good enough to warrant me being allowed out of isolation, which is fantastic. In fact, I'm going to show you my stats again because everyone loves a stat. So here are the stats that you should be used to seeing by now. As we saw, the leukocytes, that's the main one, 0.8, 0.2, 0.02, 0.03, 0.02, 0.02, 0.02, and then 0.08, that was 2 days ago. So started to go up there, and then 2 days ago, or yesterday, sorry, they went up to 0.86, and then today, right up to 6.18. And what that means is that my leukocytes, that my immunity is now really kicking back in. And that means that I'm a lot safer to leave this room and to go out and be a normal human being. So that arrow there denotes the fact that I can come out of isolation. I'm leaving on the 13th, so I have a couple of days to mosey around. Helen will get here on the 12th. And then we'll leave some point on the 13th in the afternoon. So not long left. Today I had my first visitor in the room. So Katya came to visit me in the room, which is really nice. And Frank and myself went outside for a cup of tea and a biscuit and a chillax in the communal area out there. So, you know, we returned to some semblance of normality, which was great. It's a weird feeling though, and I don't know if I mentioned this yesterday, but you get this sense of safety and comfort in here, and so you're quite used to being in isolation, and it's a bit daunting to go out into the world of risk. Not so much out there, but maybe when we go home. And you're having to face all these unknowns and variables, but you know, those are challenges that we'll all have to make. That's why we're here. We're here to get better, and then that betterness is obviously the success with which we can deal with the outside world. But today, fantastic. I've been able to brush my teeth with my toothbrush, which is nice. I mean, the red mouthwash did a good job, but I feel like my gums and my teeth needed a really good scrub. So my electric toothbrush got a couple of good workouts. My body is working better. You know, I've been on sort of laxatives and things, so my digestive system is really a lot better. The 4 meals you get a day, so your basic breakfast of semolina or porridge plus a bit of this and that. Then you get your 2 fruit and a piece of meat, that weird second breakfast they call it. Then you get a decent lunch at sort of 2, and then you get a light, maybe buckwheat porridge and a few bits and pieces at maybe 6 o'clock. So those 4 meal times and what you get are pretty set in stone throughout your isolation period. What was quite nice today is I thought I'm having my 2 fruit and my piece of meat, and I'm going to have some because I brought a bunch of food out with me, and there's no point not eating it. So I supplemented it with some Spanish beans, and that went down a treat. So I don't really want to take a bunch of food back home, so I'm effectively going to stuff myself over the next couple of days, and hopefully I'll get the go-ahead to be able to do that. I know that Frank next door has had a lot of bone trouble. He's still his feet are bigger. He's again, it's going back to this variability of people and how they deal with the drugs and the treatment. And it's very easy for me to sit here and say, hey, I'm fine, everything's gone fine. Broadly, I've been happy as Larry. But that's not going to be the case for everyone. People will have pains, people will have troubles, people will have infusions. So Frank had infusions of platelets. So don't judge what you may experience on what I have experienced, because that's a dangerous pastime. All I can say is that my experience has been absolutely fantastic. My stats have gone really well, and I couldn't have asked for more. So that's really fantastic from my personal point of view. There's not really a lot else to say other than, returning to normality and being able to leave the room is quite an interesting concept. I'm still losing my hair quite rapidly. My beard is, well, my sides have pretty much gone, and they're very patchy here and there, and my eyebrows are starting to come out. If you rub them, then they go. And obviously the top of my head is somewhat shinier than it was. Don't take a big spoon to my head because you might crack the yolk. I'm not really sure what else to say other than, it's quite nice when people give you, so when you're in isolation, sometimes you fancy some, some fizzy drinks or whatever, something to keep you a bit normal. So people are kind enough to deliver that to you. You get your washing done twice a week, as I've told you, Mondays and Thursdays, I think. Your room is cleaned every day. They wash your back down for you. Otherwise, you wash the rest of yourself, and that's why your hair generally comes off when you rub yourself with these flannelettes, like I showed you. But everything else is pretty much as it has been, apart from I get to wear different clothes, not those hospital whites anymore. Today I took the time to, so it's 3 days advance of flying back. Now, if you set yourself wheelchair access, which I have done, there are 3 different levels of wheelchair access. I've gone for the second level. Third level is that they help you onto the plane and onto your seat. I'm mobile enough to be able to walk down the aisle and sit down on my seat. What I want to be able to do is to be wheeled through the airport and wheeled out of the airport at the other end. So I've been able to do that 3 days in advance and book my seat. Now, normally you can only book your seat 1 day in advance unless you want to pay extra money. Hello. Ah, food. How wonderful. Boiled egg, biscuits, tea, fish. Thank you very much. So, so you can normally only book your seats 1 day in advance unless you want to pay something like 70 quid for the privilege of booking them even further in advance. So, but if you book wheelchair access, you can book your seats as well. So I've booked my seats on the way back for 3 days' time with this second degree of wheelchair access. I couldn't book my partner's seat, so she's going to have to wait until the day before to try and get that seat next to me, which I'm sure shouldn't be a problem. It doesn't seem from BA that they can cater for a carer, to be able to book at the same time. But that's life. So that's all sorted. The usefulness of Skype. I've used Skype an awful lot. Skype and WhatsApp. They've been, real integral tools for communication. And yeah, nothing really else to say. The isolation's come to an end. It's quite sad in a way, in this really weird, odd way, as this whole process is coming to an end. And it's been an enjoyable process. I've enjoyed it. The people have been lovely. They've been so supportive. People I've met who are also patients have been lovely. And so there really is nothing to be afraid of, unless, of course, things go wrong. But I've not heard of any patients here having anything that appears to have gone wrong, other than minor things like, you know, platelets, infusions, and things like that, transfusions. So which, you know, are all part and parcel of the treatment if necessary. So there you go. Almost at the end of the journey. I'll probably do maybe one more video that's sort of goodbye, and then I will continue a couple of videos as I hopefully recover, or show you the trajectory of my recovery. Because there is this talk that you can go down before you go up for a year, or you can keep it flat, depending on where you're at the time and what sort of person you are and where you are in your EDSS scores and journey and whatnot, as I talked to you before about. So I will keep in touch with you, because I believe these have been useful videos for at least some of you. But for the time being, thanks for listening. It's been an absolute pleasure to talk to you. Please subscribe. That always helps. Yeah, and I'll speak to you next time. I'm going to eat some fish, seaweed, mashed potato, and boiled egg. And you know what? I don't like it.